So I just want to go back around to this thing that I was talking about that
Hmm.
we segued from.
Yep.
So endometriosis is this condition where this lining called the endometrium kind of like grows out of control. It's crazy that I'm researching it now after I've had basically all the symptoms of this all my life, other than infertility, because somehow I got pregnant twice in 2 years. So, so it grows out of control. And it puts this tissue puts itself in places it shouldn't be, like on your ovaries, on your fallopian tubes. It could put itself on your intestines. So a hallmark of this is debilitating periods. And an additional hallmark of it is nobody can believe that you're in that much pain, and hence doesn't really believe you. Not
Hmm.
everybody, don't worry. I liken it to like a repeated stabbing of your pelvic area with a rusty knife for hours on end. And a lot of women actually experience this. Once somebody mentioned it to me, I'm like, oh, maybe I should research this, because I did a YouTube video about how it 100% changed when doing carnivore. Like all that. So I need to say though, after I had kids, it changed a lot and it became bearable versus unbearable, which it was for 20 years.
Hmm.
Uh, I still definitely there's like this cramping in your legs that happens, cramping in your butt. Like it's just weird that you should not be experiencing these things that happen when you have this condition. So it's very hard to diagnose. So I'm just saying I'm undiagnosed. This condition is undiagnosed. But if any woman would talk to me and they had the same, our symptoms would be exactly the same, because how I explain it, I find other women on YouTube are explaining it the exact same way. The
Hmm.
stabbing, this weird cramping in your thighs, uh, just various other things. Anyways, so I know that's kind of maybe boring to you, but I got to talk about it because maybe somebody will see
Oh,
this and
yeah. No,
maybe
it's
it'll
good.
make sense to them.
Yep.
So within 3 weeks of starting carnivore, and I was stricter at the beginning with what I was trying to be stricter at the beginning when I first started, and I fell off a little bit. Within the first 3 weeks, my cycle showed up, and it like surprised me. Like there was zero pain, no pain. So from excruciating pain, 1 to 10, 500 before, like when the doctor asked you 1 to 10, it would have been way high. And then after I had kids, it changed, but I still had discomfort and pain to nothing within 3 weeks of just eating steak, bacon, butter, and eggs. And I hope that it's not just me that would help. Like it's totally crazy. And then the last cycle like snuck up on me, or before last. I'm like, wait, what's happening? How is this happening? Like I'm so used to experiencing something wrong, something that's not normal that I've accepted as normal for so long. So I really hope somebody sees this, that this communicates to, because I really think that someone needs to start the carnivore diet, because endometriosis is also, there's genetic factors that you can be predisposed to it. And I found out that my mom had a similar condition and my grandmother had a similar condition, but it's autoimmune also. There's an autoimmune aspect. So when you do a carnivore diet, it seems to uh, eliminate symptoms or whatever. I don't know if it's gone. You get what I'm saying? But there's no
Hmm.
symptoms showing up of this autoimmune condition. So there you go. I highly recommend eating high fat meats, butter, bacon. Eat those delicious foods you always want to eat that people are telling you are so unhealthy. And look what you can do to your body. You can totally change it. Oh, by the way, I literally don't wear deodorant anymore.
And so you mentioned Dr. Barry before, Dr. Ken
Yeah.
Barry.
Yeah.
So it and kind of continuing along the lines of what we've been talking about here, and you did mention a little
Yeah.
bit fertility issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll be the first person to tell you that the carnivore diet helps fertility, even low
Yeah.
carb, but
Oh,
especially
sure. Yeah.
carnivore helps fertility issues.
Yeah.
And for women out there that may be starting to go through menopause, um,
Right.
it can kind of reverse that. And if you're not careful, you could get
Yep.
pregnant if without
Yes.
wanting to. So if you do go low carb or carnivore, keep that in mind that you might need to be careful.
Yeah, everything changes. Your hormones all balance out. And as a woman, things get really exciting. You're like in your 20s again.
Yep. Yep.
Before you had those kids, before your life completely changed with small children. No, no, it's crazy. But that's the most amazing thing to me is what happened to me when my menstrual cycle showed up. I wasn't expecting anything. I wasn't even thinking about that at all as
Yeah.
something I wanted to handle. But yeah, it totally handles all the female hormones if you eat high fat animal foods. It's just
Yeah.
like